Bitcoin and Ethereum, what's his next move? Let's find out in the chart, shall we? Oh my goodness, Bitcoin, what did you do? Just as I was about to start this show, we were pumping, we were going up, and then is Bitcoin going to continue going down and head down to the 30,000 mark, which would actually ultimately make us go further down? Or is Wyckoff correct and we're going to break out here and go higher? Well, we're going to talk about how Wyckoff might be pointing to us in the downward direction, even though we're trying to, what the Russians would call, stretch an owl over a globe. It's a stretch with Wyckoff, and I'm going to show that in today's video, how the Wyckoff is a little bit of a stretch. I'm going to also talk about it in the news section, because we're going to be splitting this video into two sections. One is for news and one for the TA for today. And yeah, Wyckoff has been the only thing that we've been hanging our hopium hat on lately. So I'm going to be throwing some cold water on that. Sorry about that. And if you're interested in trading this downwards, because that's what unfortunately what we're going to see. And I know I've got bias towards the upside, just like everybody else here. We all want to see Bitcoin only go up because, that's when we all party. But there's also opportunity on the way down, and if you want to get that opportunity, you have to be able to trade with a leverage exchange so that you can short prices downwards. And you can do so by heading over to bybit.davincij15.com or femex.davincij15.com, and you can also you can join us in our trades if you want to come over to davincij15.com and subscribe, and so you can see what trades we're making right in the group. And also we're also buying a lot of altcoins, right? So because we still feel that altcoin season might be here, even though, yes, I know Bitcoin's going down. Does that mean that the alts go down? Not necessarily all the time. Not necessarily. For the most part, yes, but not necessarily. And you know what? Because we're pricing this in Bitcoin, because we want more Bitcoin, not more dollars, right? We are buying and selling in Bitcoin, right? Not in dollars. All right. So with that said, remember, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research before putting any money in the market. And let's get on to the charts here. Looking at this, right, you can see that, right, if we get rid of all my little squibblies, you can see that there was a definite trend line here that was broken. Right, we were heading up nicely, making higher lows nonstop. Once we broke this, that was the indication that the trend had changed. So that's an example of a trend changing, and there we go, boom, boom, boom. You can see that this was now clearly looking back at it, of course, and to help you look back and make some decisions for next time. This was clearly a bear flag to trap the bulls into thinking that this thing was going higher. If we go down to the lower time frames, we'll probably see it a little bit clearer. Yes, there you go. You can see a little bit clearer that this was a flag, and once it broke, right? That was that. That, as we said, is that, and that we broke down. Alrighty, so next, what do we do now, right? With Bitcoin coming all the way down. Well, there's only hopium left, right? And let's talk about the Wyckoff and the hopium of Wyckoff. Now, a lot of people, right, think that this is the D phase, right? Including, I would like to hope that it is the D phase of the Wyckoff accumulation pattern, right? So it looks similar, right? Let's just go over that and see why it looks similar and why we like going, okay, this could be the D phase. Well, you can see this chop, right? It is like exactly like that Wyckoff pattern. You can see that there's a lot of up and downs, and one of the last downs was lower than the previous downwards. And you can see here on the Wyckoff, lots of ups and downs, lots of chop, right? And then one of the lows was right here, and you can see that that looks awfully familiar, right? The middle, right? You can see the middle right here, right there, and then we pumped up. Let's see. Let's take a look at Wyckoff again. Right? No middle part, right? But hey, we can count this as part of the higher point right here. And so we want to like stretch this thing over to make it look like, yes, we're in the D phase. Because honestly, people, we're in a bearish trend. We're just seeing lower highs everywhere. So a trend that has not changed. The trend is still our friend, and the trend is downwards till the end. So let's see where that trend will change, right? Obviously, we'll see lots of higher highs, but we haven't gotten them yet. We've gotten a few here and there. We've gotten 4 or 5, but not many. And you can see, right, we can maybe make a trend right about here that let me just make an array of that, because it's clear that there is a trend there now that's holding Bitcoin down. There we go. Maybe we move it a little bit like right here. And so that we can get as many wicks in as possible. There we go. So there we go. This is the downward trend line. Now, let me just delete this one, because it's not really telling us anything. Maybe this one is the more stronger trend line, and I'm going to go with this, change the color to this so that it's appropriate. We break above that, right, and we can see possible return to the normal bullish market. Unfortunately, this is not a bullish trend here. We are not in any kind of bullish mode. Even the pattern this thing draws out here, it's not bullish at all. So, yeah, you can see we can't break this. We can't break that. We break it, and what do we see there? That's right. That's right. It's ready to take your money. The market's ready. It wants to take it's ready to set to take money. And so we're still headed down. And the only thing we can do, right, is trade this thing down, because man, there's no sunshine here. None whatsoever. And we have to wait for some patterns for us to get into any kind of trade, and there is no trade at this moment. You just have to wait. Okay. Being said, right, let's go over to Ethereum, and hopefully we'll see some happy joy there. Unfortunately, no. We also broke a trend line, and you can see the bear trap, the bull trap actually, which is the bear flag, also flagging its way on Ethereum, and it's it's just like disgusting. It's not funny. It's not fun. It's not fun to watch this, right? We all want to see bull markets, but hey, the market's gonna do what the market's gonna do, and it's clear that we're still in a bear trend even with Ethereum, unfortunately. Maybe, hold on. Looking at the, maybe we can hold, if we could hold this line right here. Yes, there we go. There is hope. There is hope. Wait a second. When in doubt, zoom out, and there we go. We have hope. We have a little bit of hopium here, right? If we can keep this trend line going, we have lots of hopium to breathe in and breathe a sigh of relief. The hopium's on. So, Ethereum, right? If it could hold this green line, I'm gonna make it green. If we can hold that green line, we can probably have this thing pump higher, which would be interesting because Bitcoin has no chance, almost virtually no chance of like turning around. So will this actually break ranks and start doing going the opposite of Bitcoin? Quite possibly, because look at the dominance. The dominance seems to be weakening and heading in a downward direction. Too early to tell for sure, but that might be the direction the dominance wants. This is the dominance direction so far on the dailies. So I have to say, maybe, just maybe, we could have a return of Ethereum and have it move up higher. But we have to stay above the 2200-ish area, and all the support lines. If we can do that and stay above it and then break through to the next level, which would be, let's see here. Well, the 61.8 is just another place where shorts are going to be selling like crazy. So up in here, people are going to be selling like mad crazy. So I don't expect this area. Let me just draw it out a little bit so that you guys can see it. Yeah, that's correct. This area right here, we can expect a lot of resistance. From the sellers. A lot of resistance. Because they'll feel like, a lot of them will feel like, oh my God, glad to get out of here. Because, this thing, I bet you if we bring up the volume profile, you will see massive amounts of accumulation of prices of Ethereum in this level. So those people might, want to get out up here. So if they don't want to get out and they hold it, we could see prices break through. And once we break through this $3,000 level, that's a new bull market, man. New bull market. But we got a long way to go for that. Long way. A lot of stress, a lot of pain before we get to that $3,000 level. And yeah, so Ethereum right now, it's hanging on by a thread to its bullish stance, to a little bit of a bullish stance on the 4 hour. But overall, on the shorter time frames, this is very bearish. Very, very, very bearish. It's just interesting. Is this spot market? Yes, it is. Would you look at that? We have divergence, massive divergence on the volume. Does that equate on the lower time frames? No, it doesn't. That's too bad. That's too bad. That would have been nice. On the higher time frames, we do not have volume divergence. Yes, no, maybe so, no. Well, maybe a little bit here. Yeah, so if we make this bigger, let's see if there's a divergence here. Yes, there is a little bit of divergence there at the bottom here. This bottom, yes. So yeah, that is interesting. So we have a little bit of a divergence there, right? Because you can see right here, price action is going down. Yet the volume, more people are buying than they're selling on Ethereum, on the spot market. Wow, that's interesting. That's very interesting. So let's see how that plays out over the next little while, because wow, that could mean that the buyers are strong enough to hold the line here and turn this thing around really fast. That'd be interesting. If we see Bitcoin go down and Ethereum go up and alts rally, I think a lot of people will be like pretty shocked. A lot of people will be pretty shocked on that, I'm sure. Okay, well, that's what we're seeing with Ethereum right now, of course, because this dump just happened. There's not much to do, right? The time we need to see this thing chop around for a little bit more time before we can make out a trade. Even at the lower time frames, you got nothing to do. You got to wait before a trade can be identified. We can go down to the 5 minute here on and then see what we see, but I don't think we'll see much. Yes, that's what I thought. What I do see is the three musketeers say there's more downside, and yeah, even the 13 EMA, because it hasn't gotten close to it, most likely on the 5 minute we're going to come close to the 13 EMA and dump down even further. So the question is, can we hold these bottom areas when they do dump? If we can do that, yeah, this can turn around very, very fast. So we'll see. That's what we're having in the 5 minute. You have to wait, see if it holds, and then creates a W, and away we go. Okay, and that's what you would do for the 5 minute on Ethereum. Alrighty, folks. Well, the problem is now, what I wanted to point out, right, with going back to the Wyckoff at the right now, is that although, right, we can say with some that, hey, this choppiness looks like the Wyckoff accumulation. It also looks like the Wyckoff distribution right here. So can you, and then when we think about it, right, this makes the more sense, because look at this, we came down, right, just once, and then we went sideways. Now we're going sideways, just like it says here. This was a top, which we had, this was a sideways action, which we have, and yeah, we're supposed to go down and then do the accumulation. And another thing, right? Another thing that we have to point out to all those crazy bulls out there is that I'm sorry to say here, but let's go to daily on this. Right here. Let me just make this smaller. Go to the daily. Make that bigger. Oops. Make the bigger, the daily. Oops, wrong one. Oops, let me click on here. Click on this. Then make this, we zoom out actually, and let me just turn off the volume profile. So I was checking out some volume profiles. Cleaning this up a little bit so you guys can see it. And then I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to auto set this, gonna go to the weekly, and you can see here, let me just clear all the drawing tools. You can see here, we had this chop over here. Like we go down to let's go down to the 3-day. Oops, 3-day. You can see we had like some sideways chop and then the accumulation phase on this side. And then we blasted off. So now on the other side, you can see we're doing the sideways action, just like Wyckoff right here. Right over here, right? Exactly like that, down, up, down, and to the side. So, which is it? I think it's most likely that we are gonna come back down here to the 200 period moving average, unfortunately, and maybe even down to the 17, 18 level, where I think we'll find the accumulation phase start to occur somewhere along this area. Unfortunately, don't want it to happen. I want this thing to blast off. I don't want to see this. Nobody wants to see this mess, right? I want to see it blast off. I want to see I want to see this Wyckoff, this one, phase D. Not this. This is just wrong. But we have to accept it. That's where we're at. Alrighty, well, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Remember, right, even though, Bitcoin is not doing so well, right, there's a lot of evidence that Bitcoin's going to be sticking around. And we're going to be talking about that in the news show. So make sure you watch that as well. So Bitcoin's real, Bitcoin's here to stay, and you need to be a part of it. Cheers.